Have you ever felt like the more you try to understand the world, the more distant you become from it? Like every new insight creates a gap between you and the people around you? You're not imagining it. There's something about deep thinking that doesn't sit well with society, and the reason why is more complex than you might think. Throughout history, those who've dared to ask deeper questions, Søren Kierkegaard, Simone Weil, Friedrich Nietzsche, were often met not with admiration, but with isolation. The deeper their thoughts, the harder it became for others to follow. But why? Why does society often push away the very people who try to understand it most? The answer lies in what deep thinking actually does. It disrupts comfort. Most people navigate life using mental shortcuts. They rely on tradition, social norms, and simple narratives to make sense of a chaotic world. Deep thinkers, on the other hand, ask uncomfortable questions. They peel back the surface, look for contradictions, and refuse to accept easy answers. And that makes people uneasy. This is where the cognitive friction begins. When you challenge someone's core beliefs, not aggressively, just by thinking differently, it can feel to them like you're attacking their identity. That discomfort doesn't always show up as open hostility. Often it appears as subtle avoidance, condescension, or indifference. Psychologists call this the threat to self-concept. People don't just dislike having their ideas challenged, they feel like they are being questioned. Deep thinkers unintentionally provoke this response simply by seeing the world differently. Now here's something most people don't realize. Intelligence doesn't just create separation, it demands solitude. When you're constantly reflecting, analyzing, and questioning, small talk loses its charm. Parties feel empty. Groupthink feels suffocating. It's not that deep thinkers want to be alone, it's that the world doesn't often offer them a space where they feel seen. And this leads to another harsh truth. Society doesn't reward depth, it rewards clarity, confidence, and convenience. Social media algorithms don't boost philosophical nuance. They amplify outrage, certainty, and simplicity. This is why charismatic voices with shallow messages often gain more attention than thoughtful ones who speak in maybes, complexities, and paradoxes. But this isn't a modern problem. It's human nature. From an evolutionary standpoint, we're wired to favor group cohesion over individual insight. In ancient tribes, questioning the status quo could cause division, and division meant danger. So those who thought differently were often ignored, or worse, cast out. That same tribal wiring exists today. Deep thinking is still seen as a disruption, even if the stakes are no longer life or death. Philosopher Arthur Koestler once said, "The most persistent sound which reverberates through man's history is the beating of war drums." But maybe, just maybe, the quiet hum beneath those drums has always been the voice of the thinker, ignored, warning, wondering. Still, there's a certain beauty in this solitude, because when you walk the lonely road of deeper thought, you start to see connections others miss. You notice the absurdity of what people chase. You recognize the contradictions in culture. You begin to care less about being understood and more about understanding. And that brings us to the heart of the matter. Being a deep thinker isn't about being smarter. It's about being more aware. But awareness comes with a price. Clarity over comfort, solitude over popularity, questions over answers. So if you've ever felt out of place, if people glaze over when you speak, or if you sense that your thoughts are too much for most, take it as a sign that you're not broken. You're just tuned into a different frequency, a quieter one, a lonelier one, but also a more honest one. And maybe that's the path you were meant to walk.